Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. My name is Crown, and today I'm going to read you some very interesting stories that I hope that you're gonna love. And now, without further ado, let's go! Just thought of this one. I'm a registered nurse. Don't work in a hospital anymore because of things like this, but I used to. This was a few years ago pre-COVID, but it's no better now. Hospital policy is if you had 3 incidents of call-offs in a 12-month period, you get counseling. Well, be written up. So one time I was sick, took a day off, planned to be off the next day, but they whined how short they were, begged me to come in, so I gave in and went miserable. That made me worse, so I called off again the 3rd day. What I did not realize is that this caused 2 instances. If I'd stayed off and not came and helped the middle day, it would have been counted as 1. I was called in by the director and informed if I called out again, I will be written up. I was still technically on probation, so didn't want that. A month or 2 later, the whole family, 4 kids, husband and I, got food poisoning from a restaurant. It was so bad we were all sleeping on the bathroom floors. One often on the toilet, another puking in a trash can. You get the horrid picture. I tried calling in and somehow talked to the director that night, but was reminded of what would happen. So all night we were sick. I got no sleep because when I wasn't puking, kids were. Puke everywhere. When the morning came, I went to work. I proceeded to throw up at the nurse's station, attempting to pass meds and having run out of room to the bathroom. Charge nurse was like that. Charge nurse was like, "Why are you here?" I told her. And she was ticked. I didn't just call in because she now had to find someone to come in and take my patients. God forbid she took over my patients until relief arrived. I couldn't leave until a relief nurse came to work. Took almost 2 hours. In the meantime, I had to do my job in between bathroom runs and throwing up in trash cans because I couldn't make it to the bathroom. Being sent home rather than calling off meant I didn't get counseling though. Ended up being off a couple days. Oh, and my husband worked night shift on the same floor. They didn't bat an eye when he called in for that night after having experienced my grossiness. This happened at my workplace. For backstory, a coworker of mine, Amber, has been dating a bylaw officer, Greg, in the city where I live. When he takes his lunch break, he usually comes by to chat her up if she's on shift. Other than that, we don't get a lot of law enforcement out to our area of town very often. It is a normal day. I'm gathering up shopping carts in the parking lot. At our store, the area directly in front of the store is designated as a fire zone. There is a yellow markings painted on the road surface denoting where the zone is, coupled with signs all along our storefront saying that it's a fire zone and there is to be no parking or even stopping within it, and it's well away from any legitimate parking spots. Despite the markings though and the signs, people still like to park there, usually just to grab a few things. Sometimes one person will park there and their partner will hop out to go shopping. Every time I'm out there grabbing buggies, I always walk over and tell them, "Hey, look, this is a fire zone. If the bylaw officer swings by, you could get a fine or towed." Most people look at me like they expected me to pull a tow truck out of my back pocket and nail them right then and there. I usually have to follow up with, "I'm just letting you know in case you didn't. If you want to park there, I'm not going to stop you. But it's your own fault if the bylaw shows up." This is usually enough for most people to thank me for my diligence, park there anyway, and go inside. The odd person will snark back at me along the lines of, "What? Do you think I'm an idiot? I know where I parked." And I just have to apologize over and over until they walk away. Today was different. This beat-up old Ford comes in hard and almost squeals to a stop in the fire zone. I just happened to be passing by with carts, thankfully on the sidewalk. I don't want to imagine what might have happened otherwise. And I get his attention. He's easily north of 65 and probably enjoying his 70s. He's got a Friar Tuck haircut and whatever the male equivalent of resting witch face is. I can already tell, even as I'm opening my mouth, that is probably a bad idea. It was just a force of habit at this point. Excuse me, sir. This is a fire zone you parked in. If the bylaw comes by while you're inside, you could get fined or towed. He scowls at me.
So? Bylaw never shows up. What do you think you are, huh? The grocery police?
I'm already adopting the customer service apology face. No, sir. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I was just… He cuts me off.
You're right. You aren't telling me what to do. I've been driving a car since you were a disappointing rut for your mother on prom night. I'll park anywhere I please, and you are going to do nothing about it.
Me trying again? Sir, I was only trying to tell you that. Cutting me off again. He gets right in my face with a finger.
You don't tell me anything. I tell you what, and you get out of my face and go do your worthless minimum wage job for the rest of your miserable, worthless life.
Ouch. All I can reply with is, yes, sir. He puffs out his chest, glares at me, and goes inside. I look up as he's leaving, and who do I spot pulling in but Greg? I see his bylaw vehicle. I look at the truck, and I smile. I practically sprint to him. He sees me coming. Hey, how's your day? Terrible, I replied, but hopefully it's about to get a whole lot better. Why is that? I point to the beat-up Ford. This old guy just tore me a new one for trying to tell him he's parked in a fire zone. You mind giving him some karma? Greg grins. He loves sticking it to bullies. I can do that. He grabs his ticket book and heads over. It was hilarious. He started writing the ticket while I went about my business. The old guy takes his sweet time getting back out the store, and he shows up just in time to see Greg slip the ticket under his wiper. I was inside the store at the time, so I didn't get to hear it all, but the old man was screaming and cursing at the top of his lungs as Greg, who was responding to him in a composed manner, calmly explained the ticket process. He spoke to the guy for a few minutes, then went inside to see Amber. On his way in, I pass him by and I say, "Whatever you drink, let me know, and I'll have a case of it waiting for you in the cooler next week." He just laughed, shook his head, and went inside. It wasn't much, just around $150 fine, but it felt so good. I will try to keep this story as short as possible. Here it is. The conversation didn't happen in English, so if it seems strange, it's just bad interpretation on my part. This happened to me earlier today. I was walking my dog at a park near my house when a woman, the entitled mother of the story, and her son, who was probably around 10 years old, came up to me. As soon as they approached me, the kid started running towards my dog and started petting him very aggressively. And the mom did not say a word. I don't typically mind when people try to pet my dog. He's a beautiful English bulldog, so he gets a fair share of attention, especially from kids. But this kid came running at my dog without my permission and started almost squeezing him. Because of that, combined with the fact that because of COVID, I don't feel comfortable letting a stranger's hand touch my dog. I said sorry. He doesn't like to be pet. And we stepped back. Then the mom started asking me the typical, "How old is he?" or "What is his name?" kind of questions. It actually seemed nice until she said, "How much for it?" I awkwardly laughed and said sorry, but he's not for sale. But she insisted and offered to pay €100 for the dog. My family and I got him for a breeder, so he cost way more than that in the first place. But either way, I obviously refused. However, she continued to insist and said something along the lines of, "Please, my son has been very sad at home doing nothing all day, and a dog would really cheer him up." I refused again and she continued saying, Look how much he likes us. He looks like he likes us more than he likes you." Well, he gets very excited around strangers, so he was obviously paying them more attention than he was doing to me, and I continued to say no. At this point, I could tell the mom was getting really upset, so I said bye and tried to walk away. But as I was walking past him, my dog tried to jump toward the kid, who got scared and screamed. My dog loved kids and was obviously just trying to play with him, but either way, I pulled him back, so he didn't even get close to him. But the mom pulled her son back and started screaming.
Help! This dog attacked my son!
This attracted the attention of a lot of people around, including the security guard of an office building right next to us. The security guard came over, asked what was going on, and the mom said that my dangerous dog hurt her son. She demanded that he got taken away. She then stated more things like the fact that I was not wearing a mask and that that's a crime. This is supposed to be a 5-minute walk and I never have any social interactions on the way, so I never bring a mask. And also said that I coughed on her son. Then I told the security guard my side of the story. He let us all go home. The nerve of some people. A little background for things to make sense. I have been going to my church faithfully for over 24 years. With that being said, I know where I am and I'm not allowed to go and what I'm allowed and not allowed to do. Another thing, about 20 years ago we built and moved into a new building and we added a kitchen to the new building. The rules are if you're a member and you use a kitchen, clean up after yourself. And if you use any supplies such as paper plates, plastic silverware, or the throwaway metal pan in a high volume, replace them. Note, this has been the rule since I was a kid. Now I must tell you about our entitled person. This guy is an idiot and says nonsense things. He's a guy that volunteered to clean our 2 main buildings, so he was given a key to every single door excluding staff offices. Note that he is not a staff member. Staff member meaning they are employed and paid by the church. For some reason, because he has these keys, he thinks he's the most important person in our church and constantly says stuff like, well, these keys were given to me by the pastor, therefore. Finally, let's talk about me a little bit. Normally, when people start acting foolish, I just keep my mouth shut because in my brain, the person is not worth my job or my caring. There are only 2 things that set me off. 1. You do not mess with or attack my family in any way. My family is one of the most important things in my life. 2. You do not mess with or attack my friends. My friends are my family, therefore, we circle back to number 1. Now that that's out of the way, onto the story. One Sunday morning, I visited my girlfriend's church in another city. After church, I stopped and grabbed the pizza for me. My mom, my sister, and my nephew, on the way back to our church, we stayed all day since I helped set things up in between services. I realized I forgot to grab plates at the pizza joint, so I decided to wait till I got to the church and I'll get plates there since the reason stated above. I parked, walked in, put the pizza in the dining area where my mom, sister, and nephew were, and went to the kitchen. And as I was walking up, the entitled guy of our story was walking out of the kitchen. I ran to catch the door but did not get there in time. Then the following conversation happened. I asked him, "Hey man, can you open the kitchen for me so I can get 4 plates?" He ignores me, then asks, "Do you know who's cooking there?" "No sir, I just got here. Can you please open the door so I can get some paper plates?" "No." Why?" "Because I don't know if you're allowed in the kitchen or not." I sigh and say, "Yes, I am. Now please open the door. I am hungry and want to just get a few plates." "No." Me starting to get annoyed by this point. "Okay, how about you go get them? I just need 4. "No, you'll have to call the pastor assistant and make sure you're allowed to take plates from the kitchen." I thought I said under my breath, "You're such an idiot," but apparently it came out louder than I meant it to. I walked across the dining area and told mom and sister that this jerk refused to let me in the kitchen to get plates. My mom, looking confused, asked why. I tell her the whole story and she tells me to go to her office. She is our bus ministry secretary. And grab some from her desk. I'm thinking this whole jerk thing is behind me and I'm about to eat my very greasy pizza in peace. Nope. Wrong. I walk into my mom's office, which is behind a door, and you need a code to open. This is also where our treasurer's office is as well, thus the need for the coded door. And as I'm looking for the plates, he shows up and opens the little glass window that separates my mom's office to the foyer of the building. "What are you doing in there? And why are you rummaging around that desk, huh? I'm not even allowed in there." "Well, it's my mom's office. She gave me permission to come in." "You have an attitude." Me completely done with this guy. And you're the biggest idiot I have ever seen in my life. I wouldn't have had to go in here if you had just opened the door to the kitchen.
The pastor gave me the keys.
Me, now so angry I'm seeing red. No one cares about you having keys. If I was pastor, I wouldn't have given you the keys, you big-headed idiot.
I am calling the pastor's assistant right now, and we will see what he says.
Whatever, idiot. Goodbye. I kept looking for the plates with no success. I walked back in the dining area and told my mom I couldn't find any. Not having anything else, we used some coffee filters that we'd replace later. As we're eating our pizza minding our own business, when who should walk through the door that leads from the kitchen to the dining area? If you guessed the jerk, then you must have read stories from this sub before.
I just got off the phone with the pastor's assistant.
Okay, I don't care.
He'll set you straight. We have a meeting with him tonight.
Me starting to get angry again. Again, you dumb idiot. I don't care. Just leave me alone.
I'll tell him you said that too. You won't be doing any ministries after this.
I stood up, threw my trash away and walked out. As soon as I left the room, I heard them start yelling at my mom. And I froze and listened.
You need to teach your son how to talk to.
I cut him off. Mom cuts him off. Hey, don't bring me into this. And don't yell at me. What happened next I really can't explain. Rage swelled up in me with the heat and intensity of 5,000 suns. I ran in the room and screamed. Oh no. I got into his face. Listen to me, you stupid son of a witch. If you ever speak to my mother like that again, I will go to jail today because I will break every bone in your body and then end you. The jerk starts to speak, but I don't give him the chance. No, you best shut up now and get out of here before I do something to you and end up in jail today, you jerk. I have never seen a person run so fast. My sister is looking at me, her mouse is basically on the ground because she had never heard me speak like that. I apologized to her for her hearing that and we went to take her home. On the way back, the jerk called my mom's phone crying saying he was scared to show up tonight, and I thought, good. He was scared that I'd meet him in the parking lot with a few friends and beat him down. I thought, well, not a bad idea. I wish I knew some people. Mom tells him, you have nothing to worry about, OP is not like that. By the time tonight rolls around, he'll be over it. That jerk's still crying.
I don't understand why he acted like that. I've never seen him do that.
Well, you would not leave him alone. You came to him and basically said, yeah, I got you now, and threatened his ministries, and then you made the mistake of verbally attacking me.
Mrs. M, I didn't attack you. I didn't even touch you.
But when you started yelling at me, he felt like you were. And his dad has always told both of the boys, if someone attacks your mom, you have to defend her.
Are you sure he won't attack me tonight?
No, he won't. Don't worry about it. And I never saw that guy do any idiocy to us after this, and always behaved well. And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.